Day one of rookie minicamp in the books. We are here to break it down, everything we saw, the best, the worst.
It was a nightmare.
One rookie is wearing one of the most important numbers in franchise history. We got to discuss that. Also, what happened with Zah Frazier. We got a lot to get to in a loaded Friday edition of the CHGO Bears Podcast. This is the CHGO Bears Podcast. We are north today because the Bears had rookie minicamp at day one of 2 days of minicamp. Getting the opportunity to see the Bears rookies for the first time. Hello, everyone. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Adam Jahns with us.
First time in this setup.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
It's been a big week for the setup. We had Bajan here. Now we have Jahns.
I mean, Bajan and Jahns, we're just going to become a home for all things iconic right here at Hoge House. What do you, I mean, just
Braggs, you sleep right there on that couch.
Right.
He probably has. Or he's actually probably out on the golf course playing golf right now. We just don't know it.
Well, on one of your parties, he was never going to leave, as I recall. And I was out here like 5 hours before he finally did leave. But, you know, it's a long drive for Gregory to get out here. So we miss Gregory. We love Gregory. And we're doing the show for Gregory, damn it.
There is a big media controversy that apparently is already stretching well beyond this show from what we're being texted and sources out there saying. So we will address this. It
was a terrible day for me. It was terrible. I like to apologize to the Chicago Bears, Ted Cruz, Jeff Joniak, Adam Hoge, Adam Jahns, Greg Braggs, anybody associated with CHGO, my family, Tyson Bagent. I mean, it's a long list. It's a long list right now.
Save it.
Yeah, we will explain that all. We are back into part of my favorite time of year, practice season, where I get to actually watch players on the grass. And as we usually do on these practice recap shows, which you will see a lot of coming up here over the next few months, obviously mostly during training camp, but we will have OTAs coming up in Bears minicamp. So a couple of these this weekend with rookie minicamp. We always start these shows with the best and worst that we saw at practice, and we will do that today. We do have a collective worst that we all agree on, including Carm. I will start first. This was a small thing, but I think something that matters to the Bears. And there was, I think only maybe one other person that noticed the same thing, and he actually asked a question about it. So shout out to Herb Howard, who brought this up in the Dillon Thieneman press conference. But I happened to notice as they were going through individual drills that he was making a point of hustling to the next drill and being the first person in line in each and every drill. And it just seemed like something that he was like programmed to do. Like, just like part of his normal practice routine. It wasn't like I didn't view it as he was like trying to make a point or anything, or it just seemed like, I'm Dillon Thieneman, this is what I do. And obviously I had close eyes on number 31, which is what he's going to continue to wear apparently. As they put out, we're going to get into some of the numbers a little bit later. So that was my best. I just like that small little detail from the Bears' first round pick, because this is a franchise right now talking a lot about details, a lot about guys that do the little things right and love football. And I saw that in that little glimpse of Dillon Thieneman.
And I think that matters. If it's not a veteran there, and there are veterans there during rookie minicamp, sometimes they're there as tryout players. So if a veteran is not part of your position group, if you're the draft pick, if you're the 25th overall pick, you should be first in line. With all due respect to the undrafted free agents, that's the guy you're trying to beat out. And Dillon Thieneman wasn't going to let him beat him out to the front of the line.
Well, guys like that too, it's not by accident that they do it. They've been coached at some point. Don't let anybody out here think that they can out hustle you ever. Put it out there every single day. Let them know who they're dealing with. It might be something that's sort of computer Dillon Thieneman program, but that is actually done because they're sending a message to everyone. You're not going to outcompete me. You're not outworking me. Know that. I'm coming to play every single day.
You know, it's funny you brought that up because I was watching the linebackers a little bit with Keyshawn Elliott, another draft pick for the Chicago Bears. And when they were going through their circuit, there was one where he wasn't the first in line. And I took mental note of that. Like, well, the draft pick should be first. They're the ones who should want to make an impact. It was another undrafted rookie in first in line. So when the next drill came up and they were running from station to station, who was first by the medicine ball? Keyshawn Elliott. He was waiting, ready to go, while his teammates were still lagging behind.
Well, and I don't want to get myself in trouble and over-bagent the show early, but it's one of the things that I first fell in love with Tyson, because he would do the pitch and you'd have to roll you'd have to finish the play by going the opposite way, and you're supposed to like run towards the line of scrimmage. He would go like 10 yards down the field. I'm like, this dude is in it to win it every single day. This was why I thought, like, this guy's definitely got a chance to do something in this league because he's working his ass off.
Carm, your best today?
My best today, Zavion Thomas looked. By the way, shout out to my guy Clay Harbor, who was like pointing some stuff out to me, and I started watching him, and there were a couple balls that were thrown well behind him, and he's making plays, catching the football, and it's like, okay, this guy's got speed. You can see it pops off, but like that ball's, I don't know, 2 yards behind him, and he's reaching back, making the catch. I'm like, showing some hands. Which, for somebody who is going to be put in some tough spots, you would think with guys running down the field trying to kill him, to have those hands matters, and then to be able to catch the football if he can help as a wide receiver. So I thought he had a good day today.
Did you see him in the punt return drill during the special teams period? Okay,
I missed that.
So Herb Howard, friend of the show, were watching punt returns, and part of this drill was the punt returner actually had his back to the actual punt, and the punt returners were told when to turn around. Obviously, they're trying to track the ball better. They're trying to make it more difficult on the returner. Zavion Thomas looked comfortable every single time. And I would argue this. There was a moment where I honestly think the coaches or the next player in line forgot to tell him that the ball was coming. Turns around, panics a little bit, still makes the catch. He looks so comfortable and so natural back there fielding punts. I know it's inside. I know they're perfect spirals, but at the same time, to see him adjust to that after being told, hey, turn around, here comes the ball, in that split second to make that catch, I think that's important.
Yeah, that is worth noting that those balls were coming off the machine, so they're a little bit more predictable. But I love that drill, and it is a real thing. You have to be a natural at catching punts. It's a way different thing than kick returns, because the ball does do different things, and you have in a game, you have a bunch of opponents that are running at you full speed, trying to kill you at the same time as you're catching it. So trying to make them uncomfortable. There is something you said about being a natural punt catcher.
Right. And we're well aware out there, if anybody put in the comments, they're not hitting today. So it is a little less stressful, but it's still that's hey.
But it's like checking boxes, because if somebody looks uncomfortable catching punts with perfect spirals,
right?
Indoors,
like some of his teammates out there today.
Yeah,
Zavion Thomas looks significantly better at them doing it.
And the other thing I will say about Zavion too is, I had in my notes that I didn't know what he would actually look like size wise. To me, he didn't look small. To me, he looked
thick.
Yeah, he looked like he had the size to play NFL football, even though he's listed at 5'10". So that was encouraging.
So did Sam Roush.
Yes.
We'll get to that later, right?
Well, yeah. Why don't you get to your best?
All right. So I like the coaching. I continue to just take note of what we're seeing. So this is rookie minicamp, fellas. But here the Bears are going through the responsibilities in coverage when facing a bunch formation and you're in man coverage. I just thought that was extremely interesting to watch unfold numerous times throughout the day, whether it's linebackers, cornerbacks communicating, whether it's the safeties and cornerbacks communicating against bunch formations. Here's Al Harris, here's Dennis Allen, here's the rest of their staff going through this with the rookies. Some of these guys aren't going to be here come Tuesday, right, but here they are trying to figure out who can handle the mental load, the capacity to adjust in the fly. And Dillon Thieneman actually got one of those plays wrong. Herb Howard, he's getting a lot of shout outs early on in the show. He brought that up in a conversation later with Dillon. He got the wrong assignment, or he covered the wrong player, but he later adjusted and got it right in the next snap.
I mean, shout out Herb for that question. Like, I saw that you covered the wrong. I'm like, you did? Like, what? Wait, I mean, that was some upper level football.
I just can't recall ever seeing that type of coaching already going on during rookie minicamp.
Yeah, well, and to give a little bit more detail to that, it's basically like you have the safety in the corner over there trying to sort out a bunch formation, who's got who, and basically Dillon was supposed to become the corner and carry vertically, and he basically had the wrong assignment.
Stay put, yeah.
And so they worked through that, and then the second time they did it, he had it correct.
Which also credit to Dillon, by the way, on the question. Like, he could have sort of like real quiet. And he is a quiet guy. Like, that was just a miscommunication. He explained, like, I got it wrong.
Yeah.
So he
that was his most detailed answer today.
Yeah. And one other thing on the coaching, this is not exactly coaching, but shout out to Ben. The Bears put an Instagram little video out of Devin Hester was at camp today, and Ben made a point of coming over, shaking his hand, which doesn't seem necessarily like a big deal, but there have been coaches in the past and on the Bears are just in other. They don't remember the past. They don't honor the past. They don't make time for the past. I just thought it was a nice job that, Ben's giving 23 some love.
Alumni want to be.
Yeah. Come on, man.
It's Devin freaking Hester.
They want to know they're still a part of the family, and it's completely fair, especially for a Hall of Famer. So what you're talking about is not. It should be an easy thing, but it hasn't always been for some of these coaches.
No, I mean my guy Tibbs, and I love Tibbs, and I hope the Bulls hire Tibbs, although they're not going to. He wasn't great necessarily all the time with what happened in the past over there. That's maybe an unfair sideswipe of Tom, but again, it's just not always a thing that's done. That's all.
So the worst we are all in consensus with, I think, for the first time ever. Carm, would you like to explain
yourself
what happened?
Not really, but I will. So, I had a big coffee jar. Like, it was,
a Yeti.
It was a thermos.
It was a Yeti thermos, like not even, as big as they come. Like, this thing is meant for, almost if you're working out. So I had it stuffed with coffee. And we're inside today. Normally we'd be on the grass, so that would have been better for me today. But we were inside, so we're up a level, and I'm sitting there holding this huge thing.
There's basically a balcony that overlooks the field, and there are people below the balcony that are. Is this on the sideline,
right?
But pretty tight to the field.
And
not far away from the 34.
That's
patch
that's
literally inscripted into the field.
I mean, major personnel is right below us. Ryan Poles is right below us. Ted Cruz, who runs their media, is right below us.
I think Hester was in the vicinity.
Devin Hester was around. Apparently, Jeff Joniak was too, although I didn't see him. I think we'll get to that in a little bit. But so anyway, I'm sitting there with my coffee, and I got my hands over the balcony, over the railing. And I had the premonition like 3 minutes before. Don't do this. You're getting older. Your clumsiness has been coming up. Don't you're a spill machine. Don't do this. But I did. And then out of nowhere, I don't know what happened. Somebody said something to me. I turned, and then my hands went like this, and there goes this huge canister just going down, and it was like, oh God. And like I was like thinking about jumping over the balcony to go try to catch it before it landed. And then like there's just like there's just nothing I can do, obviously. And then it lands, coffee goes everywhere. Ted Cruz looking around, what the hell just happened? If that had hit him on his head, it would have been a real problem. Like, it would have hurt. 100% would have hurt, might have concussed him. And I was like, oh my God, now what do I do? So I gotta walk back and go to Bears media relations. I'm like, Callan, I'm really sorry, but I dropped my coffee down there. Do you want me to go down and get it? Somebody's got to go. He's like, I'll go, Carm. And so he has to go down, get it. And then all of a sudden, the texts start flying to all the media. There's no food and drink allowed in here other than water. Carm's an idiot. And I just decided to the base, like, put myself in the corner for the rest of practice and hang out. And there it's like, please let this be over so we can just go to Hoge's, do the show, and I can go home and think about how it can be better. But it was a mortifying moment. I haven't had one of those since like 2010 Kansas City. We were at like some major function and we were all getting our plates at the buffet. And somehow when I got away from the buffet, I like slipped and like my whole food fell on the table.
Oh no.
On the floor. And the program director, Ryan McGuire, shout out Ryan McGuire. He looked at me and just like absolute just, but that was today.
There is a sign when you walk in the Walter Payton Center that Carm apparently completely ignored. The first line on there is no food or drinks. So you're not following. Jared Payton would be disappointed in you. You're not following the Walter Payton Center rules.
I mean, the reality is that the turf at the Walter Payton Center, which is exquisite, now has a little extra coffee in there that you might have to fix a patch because of me. And people aren't going to be able to drink their coffee like Clay Harper had coffee. That I'm sure a bunch of people love to drink coffee in the future. And now, I don't know.
Well, part of the story we have to continue to verify is that some of this coffee apparently splashed upon the pants and shoes of the voice of the Bears, Jeff Joniak.
Yes. Who, first of all, Joniak was unaware of who dropped the coffee. So as soon as he got back to the media room, he started asking questions. And, basically like, all right, who dropped the coffee? And I said, if you had one guess, who would it be? And he immediately looked at Carm and was like, it better not be you. And then it turned out it was.
Yeah.
To which I believe the exact quote was "Class A idiot."
Yeah. Yeah, loudly said in the Bears media room, and I had just calmly had to take that as he was just blasted me, and he was within his rights. It was wrong, and it was Class A idiot level. But Joniak just continues to forget that he wouldn't have this job had I not stepped aside and allowed him to try out at Northern Illinois for his demo tape. He forgets that tidbit. But I listen, I got to eat this one. Although I don't think it splashed on him, but if it did, Jeffrey, I apologize.
Now your Yeti was fully empty by the time you gathered it, right?
Oh yeah, zip left. I mean, the thing that
was a big. I wish you brought it in. It's a big Yeti.
No, it's over.
I'll get it. Hold on.
Oh well, we need the evidence.
It landed. The cap came off, splash everywhere. There's 3 of them in there. That's the one. No, that's not the one. There's another one that's even bigger.
Why do you have 3 of them in your backpack?
Because I bring it down to that. Give me that other one too, just to give So this here would be the normal size Yeti. Yes. This is the Yeti, and it was filled up to at least there. And the big blowout of this is that I lost the top, the slider.
Oh, good. It should be broke.
I lost the slider. It's gone. So
David Walsh, don't you mean A+? Class A+ idiot.
It was Class A. That's right. That's right.
That's good.
So I'll try not to spill this spindrift here, which I'm now going to be terrified of.
You've already
now it's bound to happen.
This is like it's definitely your worst spill that you've had in your time at CHGO, but it's not your first one. As my mouse right here on this computer operating the show.
Right now. I broke the computer too. And for the record, when I got to my cubicle today and I put the Yeti down, I spilled a little bit there too. I
saw that.
Yeah, I had to get the paper. Then it's a day.
You're dangerous human being.
I like to again apologize to George McCaskey on down.
Why is your backpack just consist of just Yetis and thermoses?
Well, this backpack I gave.
There's another one in there.
Yeah, well, I gave this. That's a long story.
Most people have like a cabinet in their kitchen just full of way too many water bottles. He has a backpack full of them. Makes no sense. All right. We love Carm. That's why we love him. I just love that this has become like a citywide controversy before we even started our show.
Apparently, you're getting interview requests.
They're asking him to come on the score. I already know that Waddle and Sylvie, Joniak's going on that show later. I think to discuss this whole thing. This is a big deal.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's actually great for you.
Oh yeah, this is great. I think this is how I'm going to make my name. The moron who spilled coffee at
Class A+ idiot.
It's fantastic. All right, there it is. Good job, Steven, coming through with that beautiful graphic that will surely live on forever. I'm sure Joniak loves that graphic too. All right, coming up, we are going to discuss a big-time rookie wearing a big-time number and some of the story behind this one. And this led to quite a heated discussion in the media room before practice even started today. And it's a take I've brought to the show before, but we can discuss it. We'll also hear from Ben Johnson before we get out of here on a couple key topics. And I know everybody's wondering about what happened with Zah Frazier, who was waived yesterday. So a lot more coming up on the show. Will not just all be about Coffeegate. I'm sure that story will continue to live on here in the future. So don't go anywhere. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll be right back. But first, hey, what if you could have intelligent, reliable Wi-Fi? Just like my teammates here at CHGO, intelligent and reliable. They never drop anything.
100%.
Or spill anything.
Except for today. Today was the day.
And what if you could keep that reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi at the same price for 5 years. That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together. It finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with the 6th Sense. And it lets you stream the game even when the whole family's online. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. What's up, Kat?
Hello, Kat.
And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment is included. Just like this, Cat. Take it from us. A lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won. Records are broken. Dreams grow bigger. Your Wi-Fi should stay reliable and the price should stay put. So lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
You should be that excited about Xfinity as the Cat was about Xfinity. And our friends, by the way, at Boo! Branded Bills. Look at that branded bill right there.
Look at it.
Whether you need the snapper, here she comes again. Whether you need the trucker, the fitted, the beanie, I'm allergic to, or trees, Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. Looking for some gear to make your brand stand apart from the crowd, like having a cat in your lap. There you go, Branded Bills.
Look at this hat. That's excellent.
It's a great hat.
It really is.
Their hats are awesome. So is everything, but I've worn about 10 of their hats because we have them all. The Big Ten schools: Ohio State, Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa. You've seen us wear those on set. Maryland, Michigan State, Penn State. Yes, I put on the Purdue hat, USC, all of it. Hey, go to brandedbills.com, brandedbills.com, and use the code BBCHGO. Cats, no cat. BBCHGO for 15% off your first order.
Yeah, Steven's right. It was right there for us. Cat in a hat.
That's a bad job. That's a bad job.
Well, Steven, you're welcome to do the ad reads if you want.
No.
You've been off your game today. It's okay.
But that one, Hoge can take at least 50% of that one because I actually, let's put it all on Hoge because I had a lot going on.
You've had a rough.
This
is a good hat.
It's a good hat. Shout out Brandon Bills.
This is a Logan Jones hat available. ALLCHGO.com. Check it out. Brags in the stands, $5. Says Carm gets on 670 for spilling coffee everywhere. I got on 670 for crashing on an escalator. Hoge goes on 670 to talk football.
Hey,
which by the way, I'll be doing at 3:00 today.
I had a 3-day tryout on their Brags, courtesy of Danny Parkins.
You should just take my spot today at 3.
No, I should not.
They want to talk coffee with you. They don't want to talk football.
That's all you. You got you. That's your luck. I'm gonna take the day, rest of the afternoon off, and try to be better.
Rest up for tomorrow. All right, it is time for Taking the Temp, which is brought to you by Four Seasons, your trusted local experts for heating, air conditioning, plumbing, sewer, and electric. They've been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. We are taking the temp on a key rookie wearing a key number in Bears history. Logan Jones, this came out today. Logan Jones, Bears second-round pick, center, will be wearing number 54. Brian Urlacher's number. Nobody has worn this number since Brian Urlacher. And I did confirm this will actually be his number. It's been confirmed with the NFL. He will be wearing this because they have to actually kind of register their numbers with the league because of jersey sales and stuff. It's a big deal if they change their number. And Urlacher gave his blessing too. So, as long as that's the case, my issue, and I do have an issue with this, but it's not him wearing 54. That I'm okay with. If Urlacher says he's good with it, I also kind of like the fact it's an offensive player. It's not like there's another linebacker running out there. It's a center. But your guys' initial thoughts.
You go first here, Johnsy.
I just like the story that Logan Jones shared. He got the blessing not only of Urlacher, but equipment boss Tony Medlin, who's been there since the days of
it almost sounded like it was Tony's idea.
It was, yeah. And that in itself is kind of notable because Tony's the one in charge of handing out these numbers. He hasn't given another player this number 54 since Brian. We have not seen 54 worn by any player until today, since Urlacher walked away from the Chicago Bears. So it's notable. I do agree with you, Hoge. If it was another linebacker, I'd feel weird about it, but it's not. It's the Bears center.
So I'm just a little confused still because he wore 65 in college. So I don't know how Tony got to 54 for him. Maybe that's just the preferred number in the center category, offensive line category that he wanted. I think it's cool that having it for me, like we were having a whole big retired numbers argument at Halas around the coffee gate. And I'm like, I don't understand why the number can't be retired. And if you want to wear it, in essence, you go to the player, hey, would you mind if I wear your number to honor you? It would mean a lot to me. And then it's up to the player whether or not they give the blessing, because it's Brian Urlacher is being talked about today because Logan Jones is wearing his number. So I listen, if that's the number that he wanted, I think it's a lovely thing to do to honor one of the Bears' best players of all time.
So, well, first of all, do we have the cut from Jones talking about this? He was asked about it after practice. I think we have Logan Jones talking.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, yeah. So Logan Jones was, of course, asked about this, and before we get into our thoughts on numbers being retired, because that's really where my brain goes on this one. I do think it's cool that if Tony Medlin had the idea, that means a lot in the organization. And if Urlacher signed off on it, that means a lot. So when you got the Urlacher bobblehead,
We're going to bring him out. Might as well.
Ask him a question.
Yeah.
Should we interview
Put
Urlacher, the bobblehead?
him up there right on the
he's gonna fall for sure.
Yeah, let's go.
That doesn't seem
That's
dangerous.
going down.
I trust you for sure.
That's
with
going to be a broken bobblehead in a minute.
Here's Logan Jones after practice talking about wearing 54.
I mean, it's such an honor to be able to wear that number. I came in and Tony, the equipment guy, he was kind of joking about it with me and whatnot. And he's been here for such a long time. He's like, I think it would be really cool. And obviously it is, to be able to do that and to be able to honor his number and who he is. And when you think of the Chicago Bears, that's kind of who you think of. So to see that number, out in practice and stuff, it just lets everybody think like, oh, that was Brian Urlacher's number. So it's kind of supporting his memory and just letting everybody see like the legacy he left. So to be able to wear that number is really cool, and hopefully I get the chance to meet him one day too.
So look, again, if everyone involved in this thing wants it to happen, who am I to be like, oh, you can't wear 54? Like, I got no fight in that.
It is kind of unique when he walks into the building. Like 54 is in that hallway, correct?
Yeah.
Like his own, obviously the name Urlacher is underneath it, but as he walks into the building, into the player's entrance, all the Hall of Fame numbers and retired numbers are there. So 54, he'll get to see his own number as he goes to work every single day.
This is not the first time I brought this up on the show, but my personal opinion on this goes for all sports, but is very relevant to the Bears, who have 14 numbers retired right now, to the point that they are actually, why isn't 54 retired? Well, because they stopped retiring numbers, because they're running out of numbers. And this is my take on this, is that the number retirement, too many numbers are retired, unlike all teams. They're getting a little willy-nilly with the numbers that are getting retired. And in the case of the Bears, it's a long history. If they could go back in time and maybe change some of this, maybe they would. But you make decisions in the moment. You don't realize that 100 years later, you're going to start running out of numbers, although maybe you should think about that. I mean, my thing is, I look at number retirements more like the Mount Rushmore conversation. Like, you get 4 heads. Who's on the Mount Rushmore? Now, I'm not saying you have to limit it to 4. Every franchise is a little bit different, but I really mean like a handful. The number retirement thing should be a super, super special honor that only goes to the absolute best of the best. And Carm and I were getting an argument where it's like, we started going through the names and you're like, well, that guy's in the Hall of Fame, so he should have his number retired. Well, they have 39 members in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Now, some of those are not actually players. 31 of them, though, are primary players, as in players that played the majority of their career for the Bears, went into the Hall of Fame as Bears players. 31 of them. So we're just nixing out 31% of the no, even less, because you can't have number 100, right? Like, well, running out of numbers here. We got to whittle this down, Carm.
So listen, I don't want to get too global here, but the NFL has been around for 106 years. It started in 1920. All right. That in the speck of time, guys, is a grain of sand, a morsel of salt, a nothing. So, and assuming that we don't wreck the earth, which is very much on the table, we don't have to have that conversation. This is going to go on for a long time. So you're going to have to go into the 100s at some point for numbers. Like, it just,
that's why 0 was added.
Right. This is
George McCaskey. Yeah.
It supports my point, though, that you should really only have
No,
a handful that are untouchable in every organization. You should have a ring of honor that recognizes,
or you can wear retired numbers. You'd have to go to the family of, say, Gail Sayers and be like, would you mind if we wore your dad, your grandpa, whoever's number?
So now let me put your theory to the test.
Yeah.
If someone for the Chicago Bulls asked for that permission for Michael Jordan and Jordan granted it, you're fine with it?
If Jordan granted it, yes. Now, if you're asking me as
because my take on that is they shouldn't even put Jordan in that situation.
Why not? He's
because if you limit it to just 5, then it's not a problem. Nobody ever touches that number again.
Yeah. Well, okay.
It's also a smaller roster, different sport. So many more numbers at their disposal.
Right. You're just going to have to go to triple numbers, or people are going to have to wear the jerseys. Think about the future. How's this going to work?
I got a question for you. Okay, let's say the Bears have the discussion that they're going to unretire some numbers to put more in circulation, but they want to keep some retired. Like, who are your 3 non-negotiables? Like, which numbers stay retired in your opinion?
I have 3 100%, and then there's 2 that I am willing to table for a deeper discussion with a committee of people that probably have more appreciation, who saw these players play.
Get Larry Mayer in here.
Right. But there's 3 that I think for 100%. One is George Halas. Right. He checks all the boxes: owner, coach, ran the team, basically invented the NFL. Number 7, retired. No question about it. All right. Number 34, Walter Payton. Best player, everything he meant to the organization, the whole history. Walter's 34 is iconic.
Yeah. Can I argue with the first one on you and get us all in trouble? Because I will. Nobody thinks
you already got us in trouble.
Nobody thinks of George Halas as a player. George Halas
doesn't matter. It's not just about being a player. This is my Ozzie Guillen argument too. Ozzie Guillen's not in the Hall of Fame, but Ozzie Guillen for 40 years was a very significant player, won a World Series as a manager, and has been an amazing ambassador and broadcaster for the team since then. So over the stretch of 40 years, which is almost half the organization, not quite, don't check my math on that, but a very significant portion of the entire organization's history. Number 13 is iconic. Your number's retired.
But
most of these guys don't check that box.
I understand.
To your point, they're like a speck in the history of time.
Ozzie was an all-star. People remember Ozzie as a player. Nobody remembers George Halas play football.
It does. It's not just about
that, George Halas, though. It's an iconic name that is absolutely the NFL. But the number itself. Anyway,
but to your point, my third one on my list is Ditka, because in the same, you can say the same thing as a player.
Well, he's the best tight end the Bears have ever had, but okay.
Right, but I don't know as a player alone that he's meeting my own criteria here, that no one should ever touch 89 again. But when you throw in the fact that he's also the most iconic coach outside of Halas, and probably eclipsed Halas, right, depending on who you talk to, because he did win the Super Bowl, to me, that puts you over the hump. Those are the 3 numbers. Now, the other 2 that I mentioned, that I'm sure I already know Carm will fight me over on both of these, and others probably will too. So I'm willing to have a discussion, is Gail Sayers and Dick Butkus.
Yeah, that's offensive. I don't even know if I can have the discussion because it's kind of upsetting. Gail Sayers, if he hadn't gotten hurt, would have been the greatest running back in the history of the NFL.
But he did.
But yeah, he did. But you honor what he did on the field when he was
honor.
No, that is a number retirement. He was iconic, that he still talked about to this day. 6 touchdowns in 1 game, kick returner, running back, unbelievable elusiveness that nobody had seen to that point. That is a number that gets retired. If they had modern technology, modern medicine back then, he still would have been kept on going.
If the Bears wanted to unretire the number of Red Grange, Bronco Nagurski, 2 legends of football, books about these guys, are they up there? There's Nagurski's right there.
Right here.
Number 3.
You put this on the other Yeti.
I love that Red Grange is a running back, wore number 77.
This one's still got its cat.
There he is, number 77.
All right.
Again, the NFL can't exist with these legends, but I think it's an opportunity for football itself, the NFL itself. You unretire these numbers, people get to learn about these icons again.
Yeah. Okay. How about this? Your number gets retired for a period of time. You want to go period of time number?
Like Bill George,
100 years. Nobody remembers about anybody.
You're making this too complicated.
I don't think I am. Listen,
the most iconic numbers get actually retired. Everyone else is a Ring of Honor. And it's a very special Ring of Honor.
Well, these like Nagurski and Red Granger icons, but it's a long time ago. They could come back in the circulation.
Yeah, I'm like Broncos number being retired is running scores. I'm ready to
like you unretire number 3, then people will start doing more history lessons and start learning more about them.
Let's have Bronco Nagurski Day. I'd love to learn about Bronco.
There you go.
You do that. I think that sounds like a great show for you to do while we're on vacation.
You know, when the Bears
July 7th, Bronco Nagurski Day, right here, me and Gregory.
Wouldn't have to be like the 3rd.
Pat Norton.
That feels like a Pat Norton show.
He's in for that one. All right. We are late for a break. I saw some people, including my co-host here to my left, in the middle of us playing that Logan Jones clip about how old is this guy again? We're going to talk about what Ben Johnson had to say kind of about that. We'll hear from Ben Johnson coming up next. But first.
Hey, shout out to our friends at ComEd. And look, Hoge, we are all looking for a way to stand out. I did that today in the wrong way by
you did.
Yeah. We don't need to talk about that anymore. Okay, but
as we explained, it did help you a little bit.
It did.
It actually kind of did make you stand out.
It was not great. But what if I told you there's an easy way? I did not save our company hundreds of thousands of dollars. I didn't do any of that. But
you almost did.
Because
we almost lost you.
That's true. Price tag. But, could have saved some money. Hey, sign up for the free facility assessment from our friends at ComEd. They're going to have an engineer who's going to give you free insights and actions that can help save your business on energy costs, which are enormous nowadays. So get in there. Basically, they're going to create a plan that'll help you stand out and your business save for free. So go to ComEd.com/facility assessment. You will learn more. The actual savings, of course, will vary based on customers' usage and rate. Check out our friends at ComEd.
And check out AuraFrame if you're still looking for that Mother's Day gift. You're running out of time here. It's Sunday, but this is the perfect solution. With an AuraFrame, you can capture and relive mom's magic every day. This is a digital picture frame. It looks good. We got one right here in our living room. And we were sitting watching. We were eating dinner last night, actually, Carm, and the frame was just going through all the pictures, good memories from Hawaii, all these great family moments.
Kids get excited. Mom and dad get excited. It's a beautiful thing. Grandpa comes over. He gets excited.
Most importantly, mom will love it. Free unlimited storage. You can add as many photos and videos as you want. You can personalize it, even preload it with photos before it ships. This is an AuraFrame, named #1 by a wire cutter. So check it out right now. Limited time listeners are going to get $25 off their best-selling Carver mat frame with code CHGO. That's AURAFrames.com, promo code CHGO. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. So Ben Johnson spoke before practice today, and one of the things he discussed was Logan Jones. A lot of talk about the number, obviously. I find that conversation fascinating, but if we put the number aside, this is one of the more interesting players I think the Bears have on the roster between now and the start of the season because they obviously like him a lot. He was their #1 center in the draft, and he's a rookie technically, but he's 25 years old, and he's played a lot of football.
Will be 25.
He will be. This is his year 25 season that coming up as a rookie. So Ben Johnson was asked about him before practice, and this is what he said.
I said it a couple weeks ago, Coach Rochar and Coach Zavion, they made some rounds this offseason just making sure we did due diligence on a number of players, and Logan was one that stood out. And, my visit with him when he was here was extremely impressed by football knowledge, makeup, very mature, and to me, it's not we're getting a rookie. We're getting a guy that's a little bit more of a seasoned player, which really is not uncommon for those Iowa linemen. So I think he's going to fall kind of next in line for a really good program, the next guy out.
How quickly can he be ready to play at this point?
Time will tell. It's the ball's in his court as far as I'm concerned, and he understands that. Just like with everyone else, we're looking to create competition and consistency day after day and building trust, not only with Caleb and the other quarterbacks, but within that offensive line room and then obviously with the coaching staff. So it's just a matter of time to build trust.
So I think, we're talking about a player here that has a lot on his plate coming up here to earn the job, but this is not a raw rookie who needs a lot of development. And I think physically they feel like he can push Garrett Bradbury. It's just more about how the mental side and understanding the offense and all the assignments and the details, how that part of it comes along, Jahns. And what was interesting was then you hear from Logan Jones later, and that's the stuff he's talking about that like attracted him so much to the Bears, because the way he was coached at Iowa and looks at the game with all the details and the angles and the run game and all this stuff, it sounded like what Ben Johnson has said. It sounded like what Cole Kmet has told us so many times about how they're being coached. So it just feels like he's going to fit in really well.
It's just a matter of time. Like, so in writing this long feature story on Drew Dalman during last season, what struck me the most was how many teammates were counting on him. Not just Caleb Williams, who called him his Bruce Banner, his Hulk, but it was Joe Tooney on his left side, Jonah Jackson on his right side. Drew Dalman's smarts, his instincts even, and learning how to identify everything that's he's seeing from the opposing defense, but also understanding that everything Ben Johnson wants. Like, there was so much on his plate, and so many of his teammates respected Drew Dalman because of it. That's a lot to handle as a rookie. I know what you're saying. I know what Ben Johnson is saying, but at the same time, like, this is still a crash course for Logan Jones to catch up to where Drew Dalman was by midseason, where he's expected and doing so much for Ben Johnson on game days.
Well, the way he phrased it too, I think, is on brand to what you hear from the players. Let iron sharpens iron, right? He's looking to create competition. Like, guys are better when someone is behind them, pushing, doing things the right way. It's going to elevate Garrett Bradbury at bare minimum here, or he wins the job. But you want guys being pushed to be their very best, and Garrett knows that there's a legit dude right behind me. He wants to start. So all that is always a good thing for any team component, knowing that, hey man, if I don't do my business, I'm in trouble because someone's coming for me. And that's the deal at center, and that's the deal elsewhere on the roster. So it's a good thing for the Bears. I don't think he's winning it, but I'm less ruling it out today than I was yesterday.
So there are two other things that I want to bring up from Ben, and one of them we have. The first one is one of the veteran tryout players is Scotty Miller, who's a local kid from Barrington who won a Super Bowl with the Bucs, 8-year veteran, has been around, smaller wide receiver. If he still has the speed, can probably still play in the league. And I just thought it was interesting that Ben talked about him, called him very intriguing, and said he's already kind of seen that speed. So with a couple roster spots still open that the Bears have, I could definitely see Scotty getting signed to a contract after this weekend. I'm not saying that's definitely happening.
Did you see the last play today?
Yeah.
It was Scotty Miller making diving catch for like a 50-yard gain down the right sideline.
Yes.
Oh, that's who 37 was. That was a hell of a play.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, he was tightly covered, made a one-arm grab, and the celebration was fantastic. That was awesome.
Yeah, we'll have to work on that number, but 37. But
J-Mac.
yeah,
J-Mac 37?
Right. Yeah, he was. We don't need wide receivers wearing 37, in my opinion. But we'll get that sorted out.
That was a hell of a play.
If he gets a contract, we can work on the number there. The other one, though, was undrafted tight end Hayden Large.
Great name.
Large and in charge. Let's go.
Well, we talked about him after the draft was over and how he was another interesting piece of the puzzle. Probably play a little fullback. But Ben Johnson seems to love this guy. This is what he said this morning about Hayden Large.
He was one of the guys we identified well before the draft that he's a player that we really liked. And, a quick story about him, we guys do a great job trying to recruit some of these guys we think might fall through the cracks and go undrafted. And, I actually called him before the draft and let him know that we had a vision for him. And when you take a tight end in the third round, you're kind of like, oh, shoot, well, that might take us away from Hayden coming here. And yet he didn't bat an eye. This is where he wanted to be. And to me, that speaks volumes about how he's wired. And it has something to do with how he came to, walk on at Iowa and earning playing time and going through it the long, hard road. I really appreciate that. And I think we got a good one there.
I I told Carm was just telling us he never heard none of that during the press
Because I'm
conference.
tweeting during the press conference, and so if you're trying to like put together the tweet and think about what was just said, you're not with the head coach. That is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the fact he called him before the draft was
Right.
like, hey, and then they drafted tight end. They still want him signed. You know, Hayden Large played at Dordt College, which I believe is an NAIA school.
It is.
We're not talking like D2 moved his way up. We're like those guys are definitely playing for the love of the game at that level, and you rarely ever get a D1 opportunity after that. So his story is super interesting. Sizing him up today, he's a big dude. He's definitely a blocking tight end. He kind of looks more like a fullback.
He's a fullback, and that's in his history too.
Yeah, so he's not going to catch the ball a ton. He had a drop today. He actually also had a nice catch. I saw him. I don't think his hand. I think he has some hands. Because
I hope he has hands.
yeah, but there was one time where they actually targeted him in the play and he dropped it in the flat. So, you know, he's somebody to watch as maybe somebody you could challenge for that like Steven Carlson role.
I was gonna say this is a practice squad candidate extraordinaire is how I would put it. The way Ben just talked about him.
Unless Ben Johnson wants a big fullback.
Well, right, and you know when the Bears picked him up, and I talked to my Iowa guys, they're like, he would be a great H-back. Somebody that you could get a little creative with, which we know Ben loves to do. So, and then you hear him talk about it, it's like, oh, well, that guy probably is going to last around here, perhaps for a little while.
Yeah. So his role and his opportunity will be interesting to watch. So just don't forget about Hayden Large, one of the undrafted free agents. All right. Now, one of the draft picks from a year ago that they already had to let go, that happened yesterday. We will talk a little bit about what was going on with Zah Frazier, in a fifth round pick from a year ago that is already gone without ever playing a snap and really barely even practicing with the Bears as well. That's coming up next. But first,
hey, shout out to our friends at Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, Sewer, and Electric. Whether your AC stopped working, you've dealt with the clogged drain, you need extra outlets installed. Everybody needs that. Four Seasons, that's right, they got you covered, and they are available 24/7. When you got an emergency, no extra charge for nights, for weekends, for holidays. This thing happens on Memorial Day. Call up Four Seasons. They'll take care of you. You got 30,000 five-star reviews too, telling you how awesome they are. A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. That's all good. And yes, just a reminder, summer heat is right around the corner. You don't want to wait for your AC to break down. Do it now. Call Four Seasons for a complete AC tune-up for only $89.95. And they are backed by a 1-year no breakdown guarantee. That is sweet. It's a limited time offer. Won't last. So schedule your tune-up today. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That is fourseasonsheatingcooling.com.
and new vehicles are in store at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and this is your chance to score a great deal at the Declaration of Deals sales event. You can head to Ray CDJR on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram models. Right now, you can get up to $14,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% financing for 72 months on the new 2026 Ram 1500 Crew Cab. Carm, what'd you think about the Red Wrangler?
It's spectacular. It stands out. It's really the car that you deserve.
I put Ray to work. I said this. I had very specific things I needed. I wanted the 4xe. I wanted a red car. My first car was red. And guess who came through? Ray came through.
I mean,
He got it for me.
high maintenance Hoge, and Ray
Yep.
got it done. That's impressive.
That's what the team at Ray CDJR will do. They really will help you during each step of your car shopping journey. So go check it out right now. It's the Declaration of Deals sales event for huge savings on the Ram 1500 Crew Cab. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. So I think we were all a little surprised, although definitely not fully surprised yesterday when the news came across that the Bears were waiving Zah Frazier, 5th-round pick from a year ago, who was around a little bit after the draft last year in OTAs and minicamp, and then when training camp came around, was no longer with the team. Eventually rejoined the team in the middle of the year, but never
Didn't stay that long, did he?
yeah, I don't fully know, but he never practiced because he wasn't really on the roster. They put him on like the NFI list. Is that what it was? Or there was like one of those special reserve lists so you can put those players on to hold on to their rights. But the hope was that he was everything we had heard from the end of the season, including from the end of season press conference from Ryan Poles, was that they were hoping that Zah Frazier was trending in a much better direction to be able to at least compete for a spot. and as I understood it, even as like a few weeks ago, that was the case. So to see him waived yesterday before rookie minicamp, which by the way, and we mentioned this on the show a couple times, he would have been eligible to participate in. That part of it was very, very interesting.
He ran the fastest time. I saw Kevin Kadek, who's used to work with us, our guy, and now he's got a newsletter out. He put a note in there. He ran the fastest time of any cornerback ever drafted by the Bears, a 4.35, which is that's a crazy thing they're going. So when you looked at him, he was rail thin. So I'm like, I have no idea how that guy's going to play in the NFL, but he was super fast and he was long. You partner him in that Bears defensive back room with everything going on with the coaching, and you would think that maybe he could have some success. So this is honestly a really disappointing story for a guy who I guess had some personal stuff perhaps going on off the field. You get drafted into the NFL, you get to live your dream, and for whatever reason you can't get yourself on the field. I mean, that just sucks. So I hope for him that his life starts to go in a better direction.
This is a player that Al Harris, the Bears secondary coach, banged the table for. This is a player he wanted to select because he was high on him. But this is also the NFL. Al Harris just banged the table for Malik Muhammad. And I'm sure he's going to have an eye for some of these undrafted free agents that are working out for the Bears right now. So teams move on from players when they're not on the field. What's the saying? Like the best ability is availability.
Yeah.
You can't make the team when you're not around.
Yeah. So look, my understanding on this is, Zay was dealing with some mental health issues last year, and there's certain level of privacy there that every player in person should be granted. And so to pry into the specifics of that, I don't really think is necessarily warranted. But as the organization that drafted you and took a chance on you, and oh, by the way, gave him every resource possible along the way to help get him back to a spot this year where he could contribute and compete for a job. The voluntary portion of the offseason has been going on for a few weeks now, and it's obvious based on this move that they just didn't see enough over the last few weeks that of what they wanted to see, that commitment level, the love of the game, whatever you want to call it. So it is unfortunate, but at some point you run out of roster spots and you need to make a decision that, we need to use your roster spot on a different player that we think can actually help us this season. So whatever happened over the last few weeks, it's obvious that they came to the conclusion that Zah Frazier was not a viable option to help this football team this year. And that is a completely fair thing for the organization to do at this point after a full calendar year of trying to help them.
Yeah, and look, Ben said it the other day, and I'm sure he'll say it a million more times. We want guys that do not know what they would do without the game of football. And at some point, even if you're having some stuff go off the field that is, everybody is super sympathetic towards, the actual business that you're in is going to come rushing to the forefront. And I think I give the Bears credit. They could have just eaten it last year. They didn't do that. They kept him around, and for whatever reason, he just didn't get himself in a position to play.
And this is the NFL. Even if he was participating in practice in a round, he's still a 5th round pick, and changes come so quickly in the NFL. Like your competition changes so often, and sometimes these players are better and higher selected.
Yes, Steve.
Yeah, I got a question for you guys. So back in January, I believe it was on his Instagram, Zah Frazier put he was medically cleared. Did we ever see him on the practice field after that?
The only time I saw him briefly. So when you walk into the Bears locker room, like one of the first lockers, like straight ahead as you walk in, was Zah Frazier's locker. And I would always take mental note of the clothes in there. A lot of them were just neatly aligned, just left there because there wasn't a player participating. There wasn't a need for laundry to be done. But I saw him in there briefly one day where everybody kind of took note of it, but then I didn't see him again.
This is like John's A Few Good Men here. Everything was neatly packed in his foot locker. Everything was hanging. And by your account, he was going to be on a plane at 8 a.m. to Guantanamo.
It was weird because I saw a backpack full of thermoses one day. It was just hanging there. It turned out
that's amazing that you had thermoses in there.
I don't want to be callous about this at all because it doesn't. I shouldn't, but I'll just say this. This has to be, if you go by like sheer production of any Bears draft pick in the history of the Bears, he has to have practiced the least or played the least of anybody in any round ever. He barely, I don't know how many practices he had. Did he have 10 practices? Like that? It's just too bad.
I don't know the answer to that. There's been a lot of picks. I'm sure there's at some point been a pick that never even showed up, in the history of the team. You know what? I don't want to say that anything like this is common, but there are plenty of examples of 5th round or later picks that don't even make the team by August.
Well, that for sure.
That does happen. And so we look at the totality of the Bears draft last year. This was an unfortunate situation. The Ruben Hippolyte pick doesn't look great right now either, but they might have gotten one of the best tight ends in the league. Luther Burden looks really good. They had a starting left tackle until he got hurt, and they got a good running back in the 7th round. So, you're not going to hit home runs on all of them. Sometimes you are going to take swings and you're going to miss on them. And unfortunately, this is a sad case.
You've also hit in the 5th round too. I mean, Braxton Jones with 3.5-year starting. He might start this year. That's a 5th round pick.
Yeah. And just in regards to mental health, like the team is very respectful of what was going on. And since covering the Bears, like Ryan Poles has poured more resources into the mental health of not only like his players, but his entire staff. Like the resources from day one, the money, the staff, all what's provided to help with mental health issues on the Ryan Poles has been impressive. It has been there for all players to use.
All right, so we want to end the show with this too, as we pivot a little bit. I thought this was super interesting, and I saw this yesterday actually, and then Warren Sharp kind of blew this up. I think I know Steven has some of these tweets. It's called the Bears tax, or at least that's what we're calling it. This was interesting. And I want to shout out. I think it's Kristen Tanis, who was the first one I saw this yesterday point this out about, and it was based on an initial thing that Warren Sharp posted yesterday, which is basically your opponent's penalty yards in the season. And the Bears' opponents had the least amount of penalties. And she pointed out, or penalty yards, and she pointed out that this has actually been a theme over the last 4 years. So in 2026, Bears' opponents had 678 penalty yards, which was the fewest in the league. The Lions were next with 701. The NFL average, it was 871. So well below the average. And over the last 4 years, having very few penalties called on their opponents is standard for Chicago. Bears opponents rank in penalty yards. Last season, number 1 fewest. 2024, the 7th fewest. 2023, number 1 fewest. And 2022, number 1 fewest. So this has been like an ongoing thing.
Yeah, right.
But this is the most remarkable one. Net penalty yards since 2022. The Bears at 795. The next closest team is the Jets at 584. That's net penalty yards. So you just talk about how much how much field position you're basically losing in net penalty yards between your penalties and the opponent's penalties. Negative 795.
So nobody hates the officials more than me. I can't stand. I won last night. I was watching Lakers Thunder and wanted to jump through the TV set and kill all 3 of them that were out there. They were so bad. Because I'm not here to watch you ref. I want to watch the games. All of that. However, I'll just slightly say, those years, the Bears sucked. And so when you have bad players, you're not drawing penalties and you're committing them. So I'm not completely on board. There's a Bears.
What about last year, though?
Last year, we're getting there. We're turning the corner. So I'm sure there is some validity to this. And I always thought that Justin Fields absolutely deserved a zillion more penalties. That was totally unfair.
I just think it kind of confirms every team complains about not getting calls and getting like whatever. But like this is some actual data to prove that the Bears have been. I think you have a fair point there, Carm. Like bad teams aren't necessarily going to have a positive net differential in penalty yards. They probably don't. But that's a kind of a crazy gap there.
It is, and officials are human beings, and like, who'd you root for growing up? Like that's that stuff.
You think that's real?
A little bit, or even forget about the rooting. Just who do you like on the field? Like if you're gonna have preferences.
You like good, better players.
Yeah, or who like. There's a reason why players like go up and talk to officials and try to build a little bit of a bond, so they're not just a number.
I just think if you're a Bears fan seeking verification, like statistical verification, that the Packers receive more benefits from the officials than the Bears. Like there you have it. Statistical evidence that the Bears are treated unfairly by the officials.
Yeah, at minimum, it's very, very interesting. And I would even point out, even go back to 2021, like the Cassius Marsh play in
Oh, my gosh.
Like
Yeah.
there are just some egregious examples of things going against the Bears that don't really make sense. All right, we got to hit overtime here, and we'll wrap things up. So just again, a reminder, become a diehard. Jahns will have written content from this weekend going up. Code JAHNS. You get all of our diehard content for $36 plus a free t-shirt when you sign up. 20% off all merch and events all the time, plus Fran Duffy's draft guide as we go to overtime here on CHGO.
Great job by me. Good handhold there. Also, Hoge, notifications are on.
Knocks you out.
Ian Rappaport, I thought this could be more exciting, but the Jets and star running back Breece Hall have a deal, extending him long-term rather than having him play on the tag. 3 years, $45.75 million deal. Shout out Gary Ross, got that before you did, buddy. My notifications are on.
See how much well-informed you are now with your Twitter
I
notifications.
feel amazing. It's really great.
This is good.
I got a notification that Jeff Joniak said that I'm a Class A idiot. I got that notification. I did.
But Gary Ross didn't send that to you.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it, buddy.
Hey, there's the picture again.
You got to do something with this tomorrow.
Okay. I mean,
I don't know what it is.
I wish
Maybe you
to-
bring in like one of those boxes of coffee for everybody.
There you
that's
go.
a great idea.
At least like
hey guys,
for the Bears PR staff.
Some donuts,
I should show up tomorrow.
some
with something.
sandwiches.
You know,
Okay,
as
okay,
as an
okay, breakfast
apology.
sandwiches.
Okay.
And then maybe specifically, even though I'm pretty sure Joniak's lying about how you spilled on him, I'm not buying that.
Should I get him
His new shoes.
Should I get him his own Starbucks with
But
Jeff
yeah,
on it?
you should get him something
Voice of the
special.
Bears.
But get him something like a crazy like soy latte or something that he,
That's my drink.
yeah, but see, he would hate that.
What's that pink drink that Chris Emma drinks? Get him
I'll
that
get him one of the, I don't
Pink drink?
I'll have to reach out to him. I don't
pink
know.
drink. That's
You
what he
can
gets.
just call it pink drink. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what they'll give you.
Here you go, Jeffrey. Maybe I'll get him. Yeah. Okay. That's a good idea. I'll think about it.
All right.
Saturday. You'll stay on brand. Bring the bagels. It'll be a big thing. Get some cream cheese going on. But Deion Miller, she's always doing stuff like that. I'd be jumping in that thing. And then Patrick Norton,
Baking cookies now.
he's always, he's doing whatever he does. But
He's
okay.
doing whatever he does.
I believe in you. Tomorrow's gonna be a
Thank
better day at rookie minicamp.
Thank you.
If you were actually a rookie, you might have gotten
You think
cut
they'll-
today.
yeah.
But you didn't. You get another opportunity to redeem yourself tomorrow.
I will go to bed tonight thinking about this thing.
So I was completely unaware it happened.
Yes, I know.
I saw you go downstairs. I just wondered. I don't know. I thought you were just leaving to go to the bathroom.
No, I mean, I was standing right next to Pat Finley. Cheryl Rada was to my left, and Herb Howard was 2 down.
Well, and basically what happened, I started getting word that something had fallen. And then a Bears staffer came up to me and was like, so which outlet was this? And he's looking straight at me and I go, what did Carm do?
I apologize to Danny about 100 times and to Callan about 102 times. So, Allie, I didn't see you out there today. If you're watching the show, I'm sure you're not, but I apologize to you too. And to George and everybody else.
I'm surprised your bladder can handle that much coffee.
Well, it didn't have to worry about it today.
All right. Hey, we had a couple things left over from Dillon Thieneman and Sam Roush that we will save for tomorrow's show. We are going to be back on it. Special Saturday edition of CHGO Bears tomorrow after rookie minicamp day 2 of that. So we'll save that stuff for tomorrow. We'll have more observations, best and worst. We know Carm will have a much better day 2 of minicamp, and who knows, maybe someone else will have the worst that we'll have to discuss.
That'd be great. I'd love to torch some media guy just like I got torched today. That'd be awesome.
Thank you for everybody watching, listening. Please hit that like button on the way out. Hit subscribe. Again, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, 1 p.m. Central, breaking everything down from rookie minicamp. Appreciate everybody being here. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.